So Kanye West is like inspo?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily. He's inspo for sure. I think that was the first person I ever felt inspired by.
Fire.
Like there wasn't anyone during that time. Like I had a lot of hardship growing up, so like his music was like the one that pulled me out of that whenever I needed to.
Okay.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Word on the Street podcast. We're here, episode number 42 in this motherfucker. So we're here with a very, very, very
special guest, my boy.
Tay's in the building. He's a motherfucking podcaster. He's a designer. He's a chef. He's a motherfucking dad. He's everything under the sun. You already know. I'm so excited to have him on. It's been a while. It's been a long time coming. He hasn't been wanting to come on the podcast, but we finally got him.
We convinced him.
So we had to come to him. So this is why you see the amazing setup that you see right now. Shout out Tay for letting us use his setup and the nice mics and everything. So don't get used to this shit because we're going to go back to the table next episode, yo. But yeah, I'm here with my boy Gooba.
Sure.
We're here with Tay. So the crickets is crazy. So we basically are here to interview Tay. He does a lot of stuff behind the scenes. He's a great person, honestly. Like since the first day I met him, he showed a lot of love. And I hope that you guys love Tay as much as we love him after this podcast, you know?
For real.
But
I get
Tay,
glazed on like every other episode.
Yeah, we
for
talk
sure.
about you all the time.
we do, and people are probably like, who's Tay? But this is Tay. He's finally here. Tay is an amazing human. He's a chef. His food just smells great right now, and the whole house smells like his food. He makes clothes. He has this amazing podcast that you guys see right here. I think they drop 2 episodes every week.
We try to. After the 100 episodes, we kind of slowed down because, you know, burning through 100 episodes in 1 year is kind of difficult. Especially it's strenuous on your body for sure and your mental, having to sit down with people twice a week and really talk to them. But, you know, we love it. But right now, I think we're moving into just the regular podcast, you know, week, just 1 episode a week.
Nice.
So how do you like go through like 100 episodes? Like, how does that work? Do you have like episodes in the backlog, or how does this like?
No, our podcasts are shot weekly. So whatever episode you saw, usually a Monday video shoot will come out Wednesday, and then the Tuesday will come out Sunday.
Oh, dang. Okay.
So we do back-to-back days and shoot, and then I edit for both days and have it, you know, prepared for Sunday. So Tuesday to Sunday is my best, you know, probably edits if I do edit. Just because it gives me more time to be on the computer. But if not, it just goes straight through.
So for people that don't know, also, you get a lot of guests on your podcast. Like our podcast, for the most part, is just me and Gooba.
Mm-hmm.
But for your guys' podcast, you have every guest under the sun, from people that own like stores to people that run clothing brands to people that are like celebrities, you know? So like, how do you go on about getting guests on your podcast?
Really, it's looking for people that are doing stuff in the community. We want to highlight guests that, you know, deserve their flowers early. I think I'm a firm believer that you should offer and give people their flowers before they die. And Utah has a lot of deserving people, I feel like. But Utah doesn't have a market where they actually have people that showcase and highlight those people.
So how do you choose your guests?
Before, it was really simple. It was just people that we knew. It was just entrepreneurs for sure that were doing stuff, musicians, you know, these are just people that we crossed paths with, cross paths. We're using More About Nothing because we started that in 2017. So we were kind of coming up at the same time a lot of other local brands were doing their stuff. But we had opportunities throughout the years to meet people and build firm relationships. And then after that, it was just word to mouth. It was like, one person was like, yeah, you guys should do the podcast. And then people started reaching out to us. And then after that, our DMs just got flooded, and we just kept, you know, working with people that we really think are doing something in their community.
So that's a thing we kind of talked about just for our podcast that I want to ask you. Like, do people come asking you guys all the time to be on your podcast, or do you guys usually the ones that reach out to people?
It'd be 90% of the time people know of the podcast.
Okay.
It's either we're going to reach out to them or they reach out to us.
Okay.
It's very rare that I answer a DM though, because by the time we see a DM, usually it's like a week out because I'm not constantly in the hidden replies.
Yeah.
So usually it's just people that we know or someone knows in the group or someone knows someone that's been on the podcast that referred them.
Okay. How do you guys? Oh,
Go ahead.
how do you guys know so many people? I feel like
Well,
you're so well connected.
I think it's just because our group is like we have 5 people in our group, right? So we have 4 hosts and then we have our CEO, technical support in the back, right?
Seafood Ling in the building.
Ling, that's racist.
Oh, my bad.
What the why?
How do you say it?
Ying,
Oh, Ying. My bad. my
Ling,
bad, my
this
bad.
one. He watched.
Damn, that's crazy.
He watched Mulan before this and picked one word that he can.
I'd never seen Mulan. I've never seen a Disney movie in my
Yeah,
life.
he was singing to Google, "I'll make a man out of you." Before this,
That's
What is
crazy.
that?
that's crazy, dude.
That's crazy. Wow.
I really don't know what that is.
You need to watch Mulan.
But yeah, so
Do I really
we have,
need to?
So yeah, it does help that we have 4 different personalities that represent this podcast, right? If you look at all of us, we're similar in a way, but we're all very different.
Yeah.
We have Harrison, who's more of the city boy, right? He's out there. He's not being a fuck boy, but he fuck boys, right? But
But he
whatever.
fucks
But-
boys.
Boys is
What
crazy.
the fuck?
Yeah, we'd have to tap in with you, find out.
Damn.
Paris.
Whoa.
Who you tapping in with? What?
That bottle opener idea it might be a real thing.
No,
Holy
wait a minute.
crap.
Hold on.
Tap in
Harrison,
with you.
dude, he has to tap in with you.
No.
Tap in with you, Harrison. All right. So you got Harrison.
Yeah, Harrison, but I think he's our when we brought him onto the team, he's more of our social representative. I'm older. I'm definitely in the range where I'm like out of the clubbing scene, don't really want to go out. I'll go out for a birthday occasionally or something really special, right? So I'm not at any night events throughout the week, but he will go do it because he's still young. He's still in the scene. He loves raving. He's meeting a lot of people. So he helps us by bringing those people to the podcast or representing us in those fields, right? Keela is just very popular. You guys know Keela. Like Keys is just the most popular guy we know. I don't. Yeah. I'll say that.
So how do you know Harrison? How do you
Harrison.
know Keys?
So all of us are kind of, in a way, related. So a lot of cultures have this. It's like you guys have cousins that might be your cousins, but not really. But you grew up knowing them as cousins, right?
Yeah.
So in Southeast Asian cultures, especially Laotian cultures, we feel like we're all related somehow. Somehow, some way, I'm related to this person. So Moose is actually my cousin, a distant cousin. It's my 6th cousin. Crazy,
I thought
right?
you meant like cousin.
No,
6
but,
is crazy.
But we grew up thinking we were a family already.
Yeah.
I did a 23andMe. I saw his brother on there, and I found out we're actually related.
Nice.
Keys, his family and my family just go way back, like way back.
So you guys are cousins.
Cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I watched him grow up to the man he is today. Like, if he always tells a story, it's a story where he was going through some shit when he was younger. His mom made him come to my house and made me talk to him. And I said, you don't have to listen to anyone, but listen to this. Go smoke some weed, listen to some Mac Miller, and you'll figure your shit out. He figured it out. That was the one pivotal moment in his life that he really felt like something or someone really cared. Because you come from a family that doesn't really care about you or care about what you're going to be doing, right? But yeah, and other than that, it's just we just kind of grew up around each other. Me and Moose have a story where we go about way back since we were like 5 and 6.
Oh, wow.
And then I watched Keys grow up, and then Harrison, I've known him since he was in like middle school.
That's crazy. And you've known your wife for 12 years?
Yeah, you heard the little background story. Yeah, we met October 6th, 2012. Started talking, and then we started officially dating, and then in 2013, and then officially made our official date for our anniversary was June 23rd, 2023 or 2013.
Nice.
Yeah.
With like so many personalities, do you guys ever seem to like clash? Or
Yes.
is there- yeah.
Yes, definitely. I think for the most part, when it comes to the podcast, is like we don't really clash on the podcast because this is a platform that we use to release that kind of stuff, right? So if we have something going on, or if there's something going on between each other, it's a good place to bring it up, right? And then, but in the clothing aspect of it, so we're running more about nothing, there are a lot of clashes. It's really hard to work in a team of 5 people because it's majority rule.
Yeah.
Right, you may like a design or an idea, but the other 4 may not like it, and then you have to scratch that idea and then compromise on something with them.
To like make sure you please everybody, right?
Yeah.
So is it like, do you think that like you can do it without 5 people? Because like sometimes I feel like I need a team. So do you feel like you need all the people there too?
Yes and no. I think in a lot of ways looking at it, I've learned that over the last few months, I've learned that I can do a lot of this with just me and then the wife.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But there are some moments where I just like working in a team though. You know, there's nothing greater than working with people that you love because you get to all feel this one accomplishment that you guys met with. Right.
Yeah.
So like collaborating on a tea together is like, all right, guys, do we think this tea's fire? If we all think it's fire, then it's pretty crazy that, you know, we actually got to that point because usually that never happens.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I think there's pros and cons to everything, right? So especially working in a team, there are pros, which is like, you know, we're family first of all, and we got to do this together. We didn't have anything growing up, and we feel like this is the only thing that we have in our lives that is going to take us out of this generational wealth gap that we've always known, this curse. But then on the other side is like, when do we cross the finish line and how? Right? Are we doing this all together or are we doing this separately now? Right? So that's where the team aspect's like, do I really want to do this or do I want to figure something else for myself?
So you do podcasts, like I said, you make amazing food. So how did you get into like the whole food aspect and how did you start?
I started really young. My parents worked 16-hour shifts growing up. And so I was put into the position of like taking care of the family. I have 3 younger siblings. So
Making sure everyone was fed.
you got to make sure everyone's fed, whether it's like, you know, Hot Pockets or something. So like you kind of build that idea in your head, like, hey, they need to eat at this time. Make sure there's food. My father, he taught me how to make just one simple dish when I was really young, and that was just chicken and rice. And then I always made chicken and rice. They always ate chicken and rice every night. And if there wasn't that, they always ate freezer food, but they always ate. And then as I got older, I started to learn that I actually like cooking. And then when I figured out that I liked cooking, I learned that I loved it. It was just this weird thing. It was like, I really enjoy the silence of the kitchen.
Okay.
You know, I like hearing the water running. I like hearing the pots and pans going. I like, you know, things clinking. I literally don't play music when I'm in there. Like people always ask when they come over, like, why are you going to listen to anything or podcasts or whatever? Because I just like the sound of the kitchen.
Okay. What are like some of your top meals you like to make?
I can't really say what I like to make because I don't really like to make anything.
Okay.
I just like being in the kitchen, you know, and I think more so for me is making food that people enjoy, right? So I think the satisfaction for me is like introducing someone to some new cuisine, you know, especially like I said, we're a Southeast Asian. So having the opportunity to, you know, show you guys what type of food we make, that's probably the best thing about cooking. You know, music, food, that's all universal languages, right?
Yeah.
Anywhere you go, that's what people are going to understand.
I feel like I'm always scared to try like new food, but whenever like you give me new food, I'm like, I'll just try it because I know it's gonna be good no matter what it is, you know? Like
It's a lie.
After he bitched at you,
What do you mean?
because we said no, and then you,
Oh no, but like I mean, like I'm always scared of trying new food, but like whatever Tay cooks, it's awesome.
oh, okay.
There's no way it's not.
Yeah, I've every time I've tried to give him offer food that I didn't cook, he won't eat it.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
won't take
but if
it.
it's something he makes, I know it's
Oh,
gonna be
okay,
good.
okay.
You know, if it's just like something out of a bag or something, I'm like, maybe not, you know. But
How do you
whenever
feel
he
on
cooks
washing
it-
dishes?
I enjoy it.
You enjoy washing dishes
Yeah,
too?
more than
I,
cooking?
I think that's part of the process, though. I think, you know, I tell the wife to stay out of the kitchen. Most guys are like, no, stay in the kitchen, right? But
Yeah.
if
She's
I'm
not mad
cooking,
at about it,
no,
huh?
she's
She's
not
like,
mad at
okay.
it. She ain't mad at it. You know, she just stay out of my kitchen, stay out of my way. Don't come look at me. I just need to be focused and hyper focused because once I lose focus in the kitchen, I'm not going to do the dishes. But I know if I'm like prepping something, okay, here's this cutting board. All right, I'm gonna wash it right after this because now I got to put the meats on it, right? So I got to go put chicken on it, right? So I have to wash it off, clean it, cut. Oh, now I have chicken on it, clean, cut, and that's what I think. That's what I have in my mind. Is there's a process of me. If I know that I have to keep doing this every time I do something, I just go into this like routine of cleaning while I'm cooking.
Okay.
Is there ever a meal that you crave that you cook? Like,
No.
You're like, there's not.
No,
Just like whatever.
Yeah.
You'll eat whatever.
I'm an instant noodle guy. Like I eat those. I eat this Indomie. It's like an Indonesian dry noodle dish. That's what usually my go-to because it's fast, easy, and once you cooked for so long for other people, you don't really enjoy your own cooking. So like I understand. I've now understood why most chefs, after working a 12-hour shift in a restaurant, they just go home and eat something that's been left over in the fridge.
That makes
So,
sense.
what's your favorite like food just in general, like whether it be restaurant or like
Sushi.
nice?
Sushi,
Is there, like,
I
a
love
favorite
sushi.
place around here so people can go?
Everywhere is kind of different because everywhere offers something, that I enjoy from each place. So like Miyazaki has this really good salmon skin hand roll that's located in a fast food place. You get that in their chili oil on the side, and you put that in with every bite. It's fire. But then there are places downtown that have really good nigiri, which is sushi over rice, and I usually eat that. So I eat only raw fish.
Okay, I feel you. Only raw fish. So I called you. I called you out on the motherfucking.
Can you go check the pot for me? Make sure it's not overboiling.
Make sure the pot is not overboiling. So
said
I
that
I called you out on the Fast and the Furious little TikTok, like more about a thing, and then I noticed afterwards you stopped sharing it. So I still have that theory that you're the person that posts that every single day. For people that don't know what I'm talking about, there's like a little, I don't know, like a part of the movie in Fast and the Furious where they're coming out
Too Fast, Too Furious.
Too Fast, Too Furious. They're coming out of like the cop thing or whatever, and then homie's asking Brian like, "Yo, like, whatever, like, why you mad or something like that?" And he's like, "Forget about it, cuh." And Tay would share it all the time. And one day I asked him, I was like, "Are you the person posting that on a separate account and then sharing it on your story?" And then he's like, no, it's not me. But now he doesn't share it anymore. So I think it was him this whole time. I think he was just lying.
He's got
It
burner
wasn't
accounts.
me, but I did use it more of a marketing because I did watch this thing last year of marketing repetition, right? So you find something that you love and then you overly share it with people, right? It's constantly going to be in their mind every day. Like somebody would always respond to me like laughing emoji, fire emoji or something, right? There's always someone that always responds no matter what. And it was working. There was always someone watching that story, and there was always one person for sure liking or talking to me about it. Why do you do this? Why do you keep sharing this? My same story. I think it's funny. I think Too Fast, Too Furious is the second most quotable movie in the franchise.
Is that the ejectocito, cuz?
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Like you don't even have to watch any other movies, but you can remember that part, and that's because they have quotable scenes from that movie. And I just thought it was funny that Brian O'Connor, they wrote in a part where he said, "Forget about it, cuh."
Yeah.
Right? No, cuz is CUH, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's funny. And then so I just shared it. And then I put it in my mind that I was going to make a shirt one day and just put it on there. And then Parison's the one that actually came up to more about it, cuh. And then that put the idea in our head is like we can actually use, because the thing about More About Nothing is that we're so lost about the brand. We don't have no identity about it. Our goal with it was to share the story about there's more to nothing, right? Because there is, right? Everyone has a story. Everything has a story in life.
Well, when people ask you, what's your brand about? You're like, nothing.
Yeah. And it's hard to explain that though,
Yeah.
but there's more to it. So yeah, Parison came up with that. We came up with doing the halftone on the back and then, shipped it off, got it printed by Kobe, MC Provision, up in
Kobe.
Ogden. And, it was something we brought to life, but it was actually something fun to bring to life because when we brought that to a pop-up, everyone that's on my Instagram was like, "Oh, we need to go see this shirt in person." And then they really came in person, saw it. And then, I even sold a few because of that, me sharing it for 5 months.
So that's not you then behind the Instagram.
No.
Okay. He's not ever going to say it is him, but
Trying to get
he also
him.
did say that the person that runs the Instagram made some crappy merch from it. So.
Yeah, I'll watch. I'll show you guys after. But whoever runs that page,
Can you pop it up for him?
Yeah, can you pop it up for him, Gooba?
I don't know where it's gonna be.
Somewhere here.
We're not doing that because Gooba doesn't do it anyways. But
Oh,
That's true.
Yeah.
And then he does it like 30 seconds later.
yeah,
it's because that one video I edited the video on like ×2 speed,
Oh,
and so when I
goodness.
placed the pictures
It was
on
on
the
×2.
on the time, and then I put the video back to regular time, it moved the pictures. And
That's crazy.
yeah, I'm not a professional, so
I'm not a professional either, so you know. Once again, it's repetition.
Yeah.
The more episodes you guys do, the better you'll get at this.
So what are your like top 5 movies? And then we'll get away from the whole movie.
Top 5
talk.
movies. Let's go Tokyo Drift #1 because that's
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What was the pinky for?
Yeah, what
I'm counting.
was that?
I'm counting. That's one.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything's about race here, bro.
Yeah, for real, that's crazy.
Conjuring 2
Mess up one
because I
letter.
have to put that in there because it's one of my favorite scary movies.
Okay.
Actually, you just put the whole entire Fast and Furious franchise because I'm
Bah, 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 bah.
that's literally gonna be my whole list. You can put that as one though. That could be your pinky.
Okay, Fast and the Furious franchise.
Yeah, and then Conjuring 2, and I think that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
So
Okay, Lord of the Rings. If you put The Hobbit, I always rewatch The Hobbit, and you put Harry Potter, I rewatch that every year.
Fire.
I
And
guess-
but you have like a movie club, so there's no way you don't have a favorite movie, bro.
but when you watch so many movies, you're just
Are
overstimulated.
you like
about,
a critic? Are you
Yes.
going on Rotten Tomatoes like this movie
No,
was
no, no,
not
no.
the best
I'm
movie
my own
ever? The
critic.
way that the third plot happened, I didn't like that.
Yeah. Long legs, third plot, worse.
You really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Spoiler alert.
What's like? Is there any movies that like that you watch and you're like every single time you learn something new? Like Shutter Island for me, I'm like,
Scary
oh my
Movie
god.
3.
You know, what is that one about?
you don't know what Scary Movie 3 is about?
Maybe I watched them when I was a little kid. Is that the one where like she goes to Asia and then there's like the ghost haunting
the
her and
Japanese
stuff?
ghost? Yeah.
And there's like Nigasaki, Kawasaki. And then he like goes away. That's so funny. Yeah, that's so funny,
Yeah,
bro.
see?
They just start
Yeah.
saying
Well, then
that.
I think in the Scary Movie series, like as you get older too, you start to learn more and more stuff about the movies. Like each reference they make from a different movie, because that's what it was, right?
Yeah.
It's a remake of all these movies that are put together, right? It's satire comedy. So I just think those movies are really funny. I guess I put that on my list too.
So the
The
Scary
third
Movie
one,
franchises.
the third one, like because I don't really remember that one a lot, but every time I watch it, it's something new that comes up, and I'm like, that's actually kind of funny. As an adult, right? Because as a kid, you're like, what the hell are they talking about? Like,
Yeah.
what the hell is Charlie Sheen talking about again? Right? what is that's when it got weird, was when they introduced Charlie Sheen into the series.
What about like music?
Music, hold on, got a ring going on.
Yo, we got someone at the door. There's someone at the door here to taste food. There's
My
someone at the
mom.
door. Oh,
Mom and dad.
get him on the podcast. We
yeah.
got an extra seat.
So you guys made Tate.
Yeah.
So tell me how you made him.
Well, see the way it works.
He still doesn't know.
Music, Kanye West. I listen to a lot of K-pop, which is something that people don't expect from me, but I think that's all I listen to is K-pop.
Okay.
So it's like Kanye West, K-pop, Frank Ocean, Tyler,
So,
and like I think early like 2012 stuff. Like that era of music is something I really reference, because like J. Cole was coming out, Big Sean, all that stuff. That's all like memorable music, and then just oldie stuff too, because I grew up with my parents' music all around, like Tupac, Too Short and stuff like that.
so like BTS and stuff, or like what kind of K-pop?
The only
Don't really
K-pop
listen.
band you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably one of the biggest for
That's
sure.
the biggest
That's the
one out
biggest, if not.
And they have
right-
the little circle balls, huh? Like at their concerts that they
yeah,
go around.
light sticks.
Well, yeah,
I
that's
don't
cool.
know anything about.
I see like when like people go to their concerts and stuff, like they have like it's like a whole culture, bro.
No,
insane.
it's big, dude. I went to like a really big K-pop concert earlier this year, and it's from my
was
favorite
that in
group.
Vegas or is that?
It was in Vegas.
Yeah.
It was at Allegiant Stadium, so it was
I
pretty
pay
fire.
attention.
Yeah, I know.
He stalks
I know.
you.
Pay a lot of attention out here.
He's on your page.
But yeah, no, it's I
They
listen
call me
to everything.
Nardwar.
He's like,
Nard-
remember that time you were 6? I'm like, oh,
Yeah, whoa.
no, dude, whoa.
So tell me. So you really like Kanye? You said it at the beginning. That was like one of your
Yeah.
inspirations.
For sure.
So like, what was like the first thing that Kanye did that was like, I love him.
He had a different swag about how he approached music. It was like early on NERD stuff I really loved. Pharrell and all those guys, and then like Linkin Park was. Oh, actually, Linkin Park's like a big one too for me because that was like a really big change in my life when it came to music. So it was a lot of hip hop in the early stages of life, and then R&B, old school like Tevin Campbell and stuff. But then when I started listening, finding my own music, it was like, damn, I really enjoy what Linkin Park is doing. That really resonated with me. in a way, I almost put their music and Kanye West together because of how it made me feel at the time. Lupe Fiasco, really early on, was a big hitter for me as well. But yeah, I think with Kanye, it's just there was stuff not to like about him in the beginning. Everyone really enjoyed what he was doing. He brought a different sound to hip hop at the time. If anyone remembers when he was coming up, it was a lot of gangster rap still, right? It was a lot of stuff coming from the South, a lot of stuff coming from the East, but nothing coming from the Midwest at the time. So when he brought that Chicago sound and worked with producers like Jay Dilla and all those other guys that helped him really mold his sound.
Yeah,
I think that's what crafted him to be the man he is today, because he was making the beats first instead of making the lyrics, right? So he would make the beat and then rap over that. Most rappers are thinking about stuff,
rapping and then
doing it, right?
Yeah.
Am I tripping? 2007, 50 Cent, Kanye West had a little war, right?
Yeah,
To
you're not
who's
tripping.
gonna have
Yeah.
the best album, and Kanye won.
Yep.
So you think if 50 Cent won that, we'd still be wearing baggy jeans and we are now, look at Gooba.
Yeah.
But I'm back to it, goddamn.
No, it's all fashion is all phases of the time that it's in. Regardless of who wins in that moment, it's really more so who had the influence at the time. Before that beef or before the rap, whatever it was still the same era of music. 50 Cent, G Unit, all this stuff. Like Get Rich or Die Trying. If Kanye West put up Graduation against Get Rich or Die Trying, it might have been a tough sell. I think Graduation would have lost. But Graduation is my favorite album by Kanye West.
That's why it's right there.
Yep.
I feel you. See, this is the little lore that you guys don't know. So you were talking about trends. What are your favorite and least favorite fashion trends? We can go a couple on each or one.
Really, I don't even pay attention to fashion to the point where I understand the trends that are going on. I'm not a social media guy. I'm not on TikTok right now understanding I really I hang out with you guys and we just make t-shirts and make clothes that we like. So I think that has been the trend for me, that I've been kicking with a lot of great designers for the last year, that I've got to introduce a new mindset to me. So I don't pay attention to what the world is dressing up as. I pay attention to what we are doing here.
Nice.
So-
So where does that come from though?
It's like looking through the hourglass and seeing time move, right? So why would you want to keep watching it and watch time go by when you can be enjoying the time that's around you?
Okay.
Right. So that's how I think I perceive life. I rather enjoy the time that I'm with everyone else than think about what someone else is wearing in California or what people are wearing in Japan or New York, because it doesn't do anything for my day to day. Right.
Do you not think that it would help though in the future? Because for example, I always have said this, Tokyo, Japan, bro, that's the future of fashion. So whatever you see them wearing right now, in 5 years, we're gonna be wearing, So
And I've been to Japan.
bro, we're gonna have fans
Yeah.
in our pants, bro.
Yeah.
Give us 5 years, bro.
And but I've been to Japan, and their style is more so that they don't care what's going on in the world as well. They dress the way they want to dress, and that's why it puts them on top of a lot of places in the world when it comes to fashion. You go to New York, what is a staple in New York that you guys can think of?
Timberlands,
Boom, right? But when you think about Japan, what is a staple there?
crazy colored clothes.
Because they know how to put things together, right?
Yeah.
So the whole thing out there is understanding that, okay, this top doesn't go with these pants. So I'm going to go try and find a pant for this top. All right, now I got to finish the bottom, and then they put it all together in one outfit. Those guys in New York sometimes just put on a Tim and be like, you know what, I'm going to put on some baggy jeans because that's what fits over. No one's wearing skinny jeans with it, right? So you're kind of limited to what you're doing now. And then now you got the baggy jeans, the Tims, and then what you got for the top, right? Those guys in New York could be 100 degrees, hoodie still.
Yeah.
It
Puffer
doesn't matter.
jackets.
It's just because they die for the cause when it comes to fashion.
Yeah.
So I think that's why, and to be honest, Tokyo is only a little bit above what people are doing in New York right now. It's just because I feel like if New York just took a little piece of thinking about what they're putting on, just the way people in Tokyo do, they can be on the same level.
But you do hear a lot of designers say, once I went to Japan, my whole everything changed. Just because it has so much inspiration and stuff. Where do you get your inspiration from?
When it comes to the clothes,
Just in general.
I'll start with clothes first because that's kind of the topic we're on. My inspiration with clothing, it does come from the era of Nigo, right? And then Edison Chen from Clot. And I think for me, being an Asian in this world, you kind of look for people that are similar to you to kind of build your backbone in life, and then kind of just, structure yourself. It's like, okay, these Asian guys did it this way. How can I do it similar, but in my own way? So those were like the two ones that really stood out to me at the very beginning, because, Nigo, he created Bape, and then he really just, the world just took off. It set on fire when he started releasing stuff. And then when he stopped doing it, the world kept going. He created a monster that people were really out there fighting every day, from the fakes that people were making and this is all early on, right? So to get a fake Bape during that time might have been harder to get a real Bape because of how hard it was to get that stuff in the US anyways. And Edison Chen, he's an actor, singer, all this stuff, producer. So when he started getting into clothing, it was like, damn, so you don't have to just focus on those one career path in life, and you can actually do stuff outside of that. So, and that helped me, kind of mold myself into who I am when it comes to fashion, and how the way I think, and, who I'm representing in this world. So I look at them, that's who represented me at the time. And I'm looking at myself right now, and all the Asian kids are coming up right now. I'm trying to represent for them. You guys don't have to be doctors. You guys don't have to do all this stuff. You guys just have to figure out what you really like in life and go with that.
Is that really something that growing up that you really felt? Because growing up, shit, my parents were always like, gotta go to college, and then when college came around, I was like, fuck college, bro, I'm not going to college. What am I gonna do, bro? They're not gonna teach me how to print t-shirts in college, So it's is that something for you? Same thing. You're like, bro, why do I gotta be a doctor, bro?
I wasn't studious as a kid. I didn't really enjoy being in school.
Studious ass fool.
Yeah, and so I didn't really, and I had an ongoing battle with, being dyslexic and also having ADHD. And, so as a kid, I wasn't even focused in school. I was skipping classes to go to other schools to kick up other kids. And that's what I did. And then I think for me, that helped me build a social skill, right? It's you can go, especially as a kid, you can go and make friends with anyone at that time.
Yeah.
You can do that as an adult, but you get scared as an adult because you get scared as in rejection and all this stuff. So people stay quiet, stay timid, and, don't know how to get in contact with people. People are just scared. And so because I didn't do that as a kid, I didn't learn how to be scared as an adult.
So sorry, 1 second.
No, you're fine.
I'm fucking over here trying to. Basically, you be the father of the whole community. I feel at the end of the day, if we ever need anything, you're always there for us. If we, you know what I mean? If we have a question or anything like that, you're willing to help out. What drives you to be that way? And does it make you feel good? At the end of the day, knowing that we can all come to you, and whatever we need, we can rely on you. And not only that, what I always tell Gooba is whatever Tay needs, bro, we're gonna be there at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I'll fucking drop anything, bro. If you need me to be at a pop-up or something, bro, I'll pull up, So how does it feel to have that?
It feels great. I think the biggest thing for me is human interaction. I love human interaction. I tell myself that I'm an introvert all the time.
Yeah.
Right. But people look at me, they're like, this fool's not an introvert at all. Right. You can look at me, and then Gooba is probably more introverted than I am.
Yeah,
and he's looking at me, he's like, you fucking liar. You are not an introvert. I'm an introvert, But it does feel great. It's because, I take a lot of pride from my family, my mom, my dad, and, my grandparents, everyone that I looked up to growing up as in my family. It helped me become the person I am today. My grandpa, most caring, loving person in the world. And because he was that, I tried to be that for the people around me because I know how it feels, right? So when you have that feeling in your life, you kind of want to admit it in life and have people feel that as well. So whether you meet me for the first time or however many times you meet me, I'm going to treat you the best the first time and always treat you that same way going forward. I don't need your respect right from the beginning. I don't believe in you need to give respect to get it, because if everyone just offered it, we'd be in a peaceful world.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's my mindset going into meeting new people and doing stuff like that. And then whatever comes up with it, I don't know how you guys feel, right? I'm not going to ask you guys man, do you guys think I'm cool or whatever? How do you guys feel when you guys are hanging out with me? I don't even ask people how the food tastes when I make it. I just expect it to be good, and that's the quality of stuff that I want to put out in life. I need to be the best person I am in front of you because that's the person you're going to get every time you see me.
Yeah. You have high expectations for yourself.
Yeah, I hold myself at a higher bar because if I put myself lower, then that's what you guys are going to get, right? And I can't have people around me getting that.
Do you actually feel that way though? That like you are like the dad of the community?
I don't feel like I'm the dad of the community for sure. I don't feel like that. I have homies that would hit me up and stuff, but I would never call myself anyone else's father.
I mean, I wouldn't say that, but you definitely I think we hold you up to like a higher degree, and
that's because I hold myself up there.
Yeah.
Right. So it's because I'm putting that out there that you guys can look at me like that. And I don't need you guys to do that. You guys can think of me however anyone out there can think of me the way they want. But if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. If you tell me that you need help, I'm going to drop what I'm doing and go help you or talk to you about what's going on. I've had plenty of moments where I felt like my words saved my friends, right? It can be 3 a.m. and I'll be in a different city and they were like, I'm not feeling good. What's going on? I'll spend the next hour talking to them, making sure they're okay, right? Or if I'm home, if I'm here in, Salt Lake City, West Valley, you're an hour away and you need me to pick you up because you need someone to talk to, I will go pick you up. And so because I have that mindset, I need to share that with everyone else because you can't just block off everyone in life and just hold a select few around you. You have to just do this with everyone because you never know who that person's going to be or what they're going to do or how many challenges they have in life that one conversation you have with them could save them.
Does that how do you keep up with that for yourself?
Dude, it's hard. I'm going to be very honest. It's hard doing that because you're not only fighting your own constant battles, you're fighting everyone else's battles for them.
Yeah.
But over the years, I think I just got kind of good at talking with people. And, I feel like every interaction I have with someone, it teaches me something about them that I can use in someone else. Right. So you can have a conversation with me and you feel, something down about your life. And someone else can be feeling that same way because you shared your experience with me. It helps me with their experience going forward. So you kind of have to retain that information. And I think that's what makes it easy.
Do you ever feel like damn, bro, I've done too much today? Like, do you ever feel like drained or do you always feel like you're...
Yeah, there are some days I feel drained, but I do believe in putting 110% no matter what. Some days I'll sit on the couch and be like, I just want to lay on the couch, but something has to get done. I have to remember that it has to get done. And then when you kind of have to trick yourself into that mindset. It's not something you build over time. You really have to trick yourself every time because any given moment you can be lazy. You're going to be lazy.
Yeah.
Right. So, and thank God I have a wife that's like, get up off your ass right now. We need to go do something. Let's go. And that helps my mindset re-trigger. It's like, all right, I'll get up. And then I'll just be like, damn, why was I being lazy? Or I need to figure something out right now. So I try to combat laziness with overdoing stuff. Like say someone needed a flyer today, but then I have to edit my video. I'm going to edit the video while making the flyer at the same time. Right. And that's also me having ADHD. It makes me work on multiple things at the same time. So I'm not bored. And I think that's the biggest thing is being bored in anything you do, you're not going to want to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So I've learned to multitask with everything that I do, especially with this whole podcast stuff, the whole entire editing for the clothing line and stuff. You can all do that in one place. I have 2 screens. I have 2 eyes. I'm cross-eyed when I'm working, listen to music. I'll be playing games at the same time, but it helps my mind function and, it keeps the oil going. Yeah.
So you do like the designs for the flyers, you do the designs for the clothes, you do like the thumbnails, all that stuff for the videos. So you do a lot behind the scenes, I always wonder, like, yo, bro, how does Tay get so much out, And you just proved it to us. Like, you're just like, bro, I work on multiple things at once just to see, like, what works. What's, like, the biggest lesson you learned in all of this? Like,
I still haven't learned anything from it. I need to learn to slow down. I think that's the one thing I did. Like, I'm learning still, but that's the one thing I did have to realize that sometimes you need to slow down because it becomes quantity over quality at the same time, right? So I'm putting out so much stuff, but is the quality really there? Right? I'm not rewatching any podcast. I've never rewatched one podcast since we've done this. We're 106 episodes deep. I've never rewatched one except for episode 1, and that's because she forced me. But I don't know if the editing is good. I don't know if it sounds good. I don't know if anything's good. Just put it out there, right? And it's the same thing with like doing designs. Like I'm not sure if it's great because if I think it's good, that's just me, right? You don't know how other people are gonna perceive your ideas or designs or whatever, right? Until you put it out there, and then you're like, "Fuck, what the hell did I fuck up on this time?" Right? What could I have changed this time?
Do you have a dream guest that you have like haven't gotten on the podcast but want to? It could be an obtainable or an unattainable one, like
Off the nos.
off the he's gonna be in here.
It's crazy. I don't think I would have a great time having a conversation of Ye. Because his mindset is
But
also
what about Kanye?
Kanye.
It's different.
Before or after Mom?
Before Mom,
Whenever
probably.
this
Before
came
Mom,
out.
see,
Whenever this
before
came
Mom
out.
would have been crazy because this was after.
Yeah.
Before whatever. So I guess the eras of it for sure were totally different, right? It depends on what timeline of music you really were listening to at the time and really want to understand why he did that stuff, right? So I maybe Yeezus, that era, because that was a crazy era. Adidas, all this stuff was coming out. He was changing the game for everyone. Resale markets were going up, all because this guy decided to take on the world by putting out his designs in the world, but also changed the sound of music at the same time with Yeezus. Blood on the Leaves, Black Skinheads, like all these were crazy, high energy songs that people didn't understand in hip hop at that time, and people were like freaking out, like this isn't good. But then I first heard it and I was like, dude, this fucking Blood on the Leaves fucking had me change a lot of my mindset at the time. Black Skinhead too, when you hear the drums coming in and then the wolves, in the background, it really was like, fuck, dude, this is amazing sounding music. And he's doing something different that people weren't doing at the time. So yeah, maybe Ye, because I would want to ask him about each era of, design, music, mindset that he had throughout the years, because I feel like his mindset did change from when he started in the 90s to where he is now.
Yeah. I kind of want to go back a little bit. For like your creative process, what is your process, if there is one?
Dude, if there's any creative process, it's me going and watching like old movies sometimes. So, like I rewatch Tokyo Drift a lot because that's where I kind of like fell in love with Japan and Tokyo and all this stuff. And I look at that movie and I'm like, damn, some of these outfits are kind of fucking crazy. You know, what they were doing in early like Y2K era of like, JDM cars. You go look at that stuff, you're like, damn, what was that? What was that design on that wing, or what was the design on the side of the car? Like if you go look at the first Fast and the Furious, their whole group had like one decal design. It was like something throwing a spear and it's like going through, and I want to rip that design because it's a fire ass design. I think it deserves to be on a shirt or something, right?
Yeah.
The whole world needs to see this because that's stuff I picked up on watching a movie.
That's dope. That is fire. Yeah, they have like some sick decals.
Yeah.
And then Tokyo Drift definitely highlights like the best of fucking Japan for sure.
Yeah, like it definitely highlighted a good era of, time and place to have the movie.
Yeah.
It was like, the first Fast and Furious came out, and Too Fast and Furious was more, it kind of like strayed away from the racing and all that stuff. And then Tokyo Drift comes out, goes back to the basics, and it shows you a little life of what Tokyo looks like.
Yeah.
And then you go back to what they're at, police stuff and all this crazy shit that's going on, going to space, fucking The Rock catching a missile, throwing it back.
Wait, what?
You caught a missile and threw it back?
Crazy, yeah.
You're lying.
No lie.
How can you catch a missile?
They were on an iceberg. Or they're like on flat ice.
Oh, wow, that
and the
makes
ice-
it way easier.
The ice is, so it's gliding over the ice, and then he grabs it, and then he just turns it around, boom.
Wow. The Rock is a hero.
Oh my God. The Rock, bro.
Yeah.
Mama Rhodes. Mama Rhodes. This is for you, Mama Rhodes. So what's the difference between When Midnight Strikes and More About Nothing?
More About Nothing is it's a collective of 5 different minds. When Midnight Strikes is a collective of my creativity that I want to showcase in the world. I don't have anyone to tell me no except for myself. So when I come up with an idea and I don't think it fits More About Nothing's criteria, I look at it at when midnight strikes and see if that fits me as a person in my brand. So when I'm putting stuff out, so when I did the dragon tee, my dad has a tattoo on his back of a dragon that I tried to replicate, and that's why I put on the back of a t-shirt. And then with the Asian lettering and all that stuff, it fits into who my personality is. So I kind of put that kind of stuff out there. I love Greek mythology. I love all mythology. So I try to put stuff out there that I've enjoyed over the years and try to replicate it and put on a shirt.
What do you think is the hardest part about making clothes? You have 2 brands going on. Like, what do you think is the hardest part?
Manufacturing, getting the right printing done. When your ideas are great, and when they're great, it's only as great as the person that's going to print them, right?
As execution.
Yeah, execution on it for sure. So when you get that product back and you're like, damn, I would not sell this shirt to anyone, but you have to make your money back. You just have to do it, right? And that's the sacrifice you get with a brand, because you can't sacrifice $700 worth of clothes because you didn't like it when it got printed, right? We've had problems with people giving us a sample, and the sample is great, amazing. And then when you get the next batch of it all, you're like, what the hell did you guys do when you guys did the batch, right? So, I think execution on your clothing is the hardest part.
So how do you deal with not having a website? Currently, only way you can buy your clothes is at pop-ups. Like, how is that?
Pop-ups, you hit up someone on Instagram, we'll ship, whatever. But I don't really think we dealt with a big problem at the beginning, because we didn't build our base to be outside of Utah, right? We didn't care for people to buy outside of here. But as we started getting bigger and as we started getting more promotions, people wearing our stuff, shout out 80 Sneaks, because every time this guy wears a shirt, we get 5 DMs from out of the country. We got a guy from the UK that hit us up about a shirt, and he wore an old shirt that had dropped last year, and we just had it here, and he bought it, and then he put it on to match one of his outfits, and yeah, dude, that shit blew up. And so now we're thinking about opening a website, because now we have people actually wearing our stuff except for ourselves that have some type of following in it. People actually want this stuff that we didn't think people wanted, because for the longest time, we all have that one shirt that doesn't sell, and we're like, why doesn't this shirt sell? This shirt is so fire. But then that's because we're selling to a market in Utah where it's niche, clicky, all this stuff. Yeah. People don't want it, right? And so, but there's someone out in the world that does want your shirt. So I'm starting to realize that, and then you should see our website in the next couple of weeks or something.
Oh, fire.
Nice, cool.
I definitely have to give you guys props for that, for staying in the community of Utah, because like you said, it's so hard to really get yourself out there, since everyone clicks up. There is it's a niche culture, and especially when people see it, they don't really know what it is or anything like that. So they see your clothing and then they're like, oh, this guy makes clothes out of his basement or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys definitely killing it for not even having a website, because we compare website numbers and everything, and we're like, all right, I mean, it's doing good, but like you said, once that demand really does get there, then it's a good move to hit on.
Yeah, for sure. And I got to give a shout out to you guys, first of all, because you guys are just been really consistent. After I met Omar, last year, it was probably last year, right?
Yeah.
I got you on the pod in January. Yeah, it was the ball kept rolling after that. Your ideas kind of stemmed off into More About Nothing, of how when your episode came out and aired, it was damn, we really have to step up and really think about what we're doing in the next year, because you're doing that constantly. You're already building up for 2025, but you're still releasing stuff in 2024, and you do it all on a website. You want people that represent Hoodlum to go to one place and get what they want, right? And that's going on to you too now, because you're starting your brand, you're trying to get it out there, but I kind of see you picking off pieces of who you're with all the time, right? So you guys have this bond that you guys have together, where Kuba's picking up stuff from you, and then I'm like, okay, that's because that's also what we're doing. So shout out to you guys, because we're all learning together, and you guys don't gatekeep, right? And that's the cool thing about what you guys do in your guys' podcast. You guys are always talking about everything that's coming out, everything that's going on in the world, because why? People need to hear it. And there's no source for people like us to get it from, except for Complex, Hypebeast, and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, they're just still sharing Drake's fucking new diss song today, and that's covering up something that's going on in the clothing world that we are a big part of.
No, for sure.
I feel I always tell Google, bro, just being able to, if you want to go buy Supreme right now, bro, it's on their website, or go to one of their stores, but you can't get it anywhere else for retail. if you want to go buy FTP, it was yesterday and you can't get shit now. It's all gone, you know? So it's like, that's the way I want to train my following. That's what I've been doing for 8 years is like, if you really want this shit, you're going to have to go get on my website or come to a pop-up now. But if not, then you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
And this is limited, so you better be on the website. Like there's only 30 pieces, so you better be on the website that day. If not, you're not going to get it. And like there's no restocks, you know? Like it's like, that's the way I always look at it. And I feel like that's how you asked me yesterday, like, how do I have such a good online presence? And I thought about it, and I think that's what I do, bro. It's like everything's limited, only one place to get it at one time, and if you're not there at that time, that place, you're not gonna get it. And I feel like that's kind of how you gotta train your audience, you know?
Yeah, you whiplash them into it.
Like it's like that thing where like whenever you see a new drop, you almost every drop nowadays you just buy it because you just are gonna buy it like out of, how do you say it, like you don't even want this. You just buy it because you like FOMO or whatever, you know? Like you just like, it's like a last minute decision, and then it comes in and you're like, why did I even get this hat? I don't even need it.
Yeah, but it's too late.
Yeah. And like,
it's like, we were in the resale business for a while, doing Supreme, being on there every Thursday at 9, or, being on sneakers at 8, and that's MST, guys. So we're here. We were trained and programmed to wake up on those times to be on their websites because it was a competitive market. You want to be in that field, no matter what it was. I got a stupid ass fucking Supreme wrench still in my fucking basement right now. And I'm like, what the fuck am I ever going to use it for? We got 3 of them, and it was like, we're going to resell this or what? But we have it, but because our minds were trained to look into stuff like that. Like maybe somebody will buy it, right? Now we're just sitting on a shitty market of reselling. And so nobody's going to buy it now, right? So we're going to have to wait for stuff to come back or get cool again for us to be able to sell stuff like that.
Do you still have a lot of like leftover inventory?
I would say so. Yeah. Yeah, we have a big box of stuff, and it's like the stuff that is going to be, it's like hardware stuff, toolboxes, stuff like that are hard to sell. So we just kind of just keep it because it looks cool.
Well, the thing is about those Supreme items that people don't realize is like a hat, a t-shirt, a toothbrush, shit like that will resell in the future because people use it, right? You get it in. But a toolbox, it's really hard to undead stock that toolbox because even if you put some stickers in there or something, it's still brand. It has a little dust. It's still brand new. Like. Yeah. So when like you're reselling those Supreme items that are like a wrench and stuff like that, like, I mean, you can use it a few times and it still is brand new, you know? Yeah. So it's like, that's what people don't like understand when they try to resell those, like, like a toolbox. And it's like, bro, you can't un-DS a toolbox unless you actually put tools in it. But who's doing that? Like no Supreme head is putting they're just putting the little accessories in there. And then in the future, they just dump it out and they can sell you a brand new toolbox because it's brand new. So I feel like that's where it's hard with the Supreme, like, that's like Gooba yesterday. I spent $700 on FTP to resell, and he's like, "Is that all gonna resell?" And I'm like, "I sure hope so, but it's all good shit, you know." Like it's like I'm not buying like a fucking something that's gonna sit on someone's desk and not ever be unused. So I feel like that's where a lot of people really like fail in the resale world is they don't like, they just think everything's gonna resell here, you know. But did you make a lot of money reselling? Like not the IRS is not watching. Just kidding. IRS, if you're watching this,
we did make a lot of money.
Yeah, like enough to keep you afloat.
Yeah, because I didn't have to work. Also thank God to my wife that I didn't have to work during a tough time that I was going on when my grandpa passed away in 2019. So it helped out, but also COVID came around and really fucked my mindset up. Like I lost social skills. I lost being present in time because I was still like grieving over death and stuff like that. But she helped us keep afloat, but then it also was the ideas of doing stuff. We were at one point we changed the whole Hennessy law in Utah because we bought every case at every liquor store in the valley. So we were reselling Hennessy throughout the week.
Oh damn!
So we would buy a whole case. It'd be like 12 bottles in a case, and we'd buy it. It's like 40. At that time, it was like $38 each, 42 after tax, and then we would sell it for $60. During that time, you're locked in your house. You can't go out anywhere. People became alcoholics.
Yeah.
And so we were just, you needed Hennessy, we had it. And then at one point, the shelves just didn't have enough stock. And then when they finally started getting stock, they changed it to buying 1 bottle at a time because that's what we did here in Utah.
Dang.
So we kind of changed that. And people don't know that we were doing that, but we bought every damn case. And people, you can ask anyone that during that time, they were buying Hennessy from us every day. Sundays, you get double charged. You're paying $80 now because you can't buy liquor anyways on Sunday.
Damn.
And then you got to come here and pick it up. So I'm not dropping off anyways, but you got delivery fees.
So you were dropping off the Hennessy though?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then, so we were learning throughout COVID. It also created business people as well, because we felt like supply and demand was a big thing during COVID. You can do that after COVID. There's always going to be something, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just have to find that niche or whatever people really like and really, try to sell it out to them. But in the resale market, when we started doing that stuff, we were like, all right, how do we make money off stuff that we enjoy now, right? So we started a thing called Secret Menu. Secret Menu was a raffle only IG. You buy slots. It was up to 20 slots. Depending on the shoe, it's like $25 a slot, $30 a slot. At one point, we were just raffling them everything. Pokemon cards, graphics cards, I think we raffled the same PS5 10 times because you also got a cash-out option. So people just didn't want to take the PS5. But PS5s were hot at the time.
Yeah.
They were $1,000 on the resale market, right? We were charging $50 a slot. So $1,000, we're making money, but we're paying high prices. At that time, we were paying a lot of money for everything.
So how do you make money on raffles? Is what I've always wondered, because I saw a lot during COVID. I feel like a lot of people are just on the Instagram live. Like JSM was doing that a lot. Like, so how do you make money on a raffle? Let's say this item costs you $50.
Then you calculate a 25% markup on it. So let's say our best seller at the time was Mochas. That was the raffle that really kicked off.
It was a $500 shoe.
And at the time we were getting them for $360, $380, $400. And we were paying high on the market. You can go meet someone in the street and buy it off them. They're not really selling it for $530. That's just what StockX has it for. You go and meet with them and like, hey, I want to buy it for this. They're gonna pay. They're gonna take that money.
You didn't care about the size. You were just getting any Mocha.
Just any Mocha one. Because I think we did like over 70 Mocha ones.
And you were paying $380, and you were selling $50 raffle tickets.
So it was $25 slots. 35 for that one. 35 for that one because we knew that
how
was
many slots were
20. So we were getting like 750.
So you're able to buy 2 Mochas with that one raffle.
Yeah. And so we just kept going and going and going and going. And then at one point we had an inventory of over 300 shoes, like 100 that were Mochas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that helped us during COVID. And I'll be honest, like we made over 6 figures on that. And that helped us stay afloat. And I didn't have to work because of that. We kept having money come in. So when people ask me now, it's like, hey, do you have a job? It's like, no, I didn't have a job, but now I have to because all that stuff
is gone now.
It's gone.
Yeah.
That our market is so shitty. We're now getting offered $70 on 16 pairs of shoes. And that sucks because we paid way more than that on each shoe because the market is really dry at this time right now.
Do you think it will ever have a resurgence, or do you think like every reseller that's reselling right now
it's going to take someone special? It's definitely going to take someone special to be able to do it.
My God, what happened to Virgil?
Yeah. It's definitely going to take someone special to be able to reignite this because I think right now at this time, high-end's dying, clothing's dying, and just needs a resurgence of someone that really loves this stuff and really wants to put this stuff out in the world.
You think clothing's dying?
Yeah.
So like the stuff we're making, you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's slowly going away because now everyone's looking at our T-shirts and, you had this conversation with someone and they had their Shaka-Wear tags on their shirts still. Mm-hmm. Now people are learning that they don't have to buy our shirts because there's stuff out there that people are looking at the little details. Like, I'm not going to buy your $8 shirt that you printed on and I can probably make it for myself for $13 because you don't have a trademark or anything on it. I can go print your shirt right now because there's nothing illegal about it for me to take. And I just need to print one. That's going to save me, $30, $40.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how people look at it. And like DTF, all this stuff's going on. You can literally just go buy a transfer sheet online, put heat press it on your stuff, and it's over. Now everyone on Etsy is a clothing brand maker or a clothing brand owner or some type of creative, right? Everyone on Canva can do it too. So it's like there's all these things out in the world right now that people are doing and they can just do it themselves.
But I feel like that's what making other stuff like the pencils and stuff like that is setting you apart because yeah, sure, everyone can make a T-shirt, but I've been saying this for over a year now.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen motherfuckers make a pillow. I still haven't seen motherfuckers make a plushie. I still haven't seen none of that shit. So like,
clothing's dying,
like,
but your brand's not.
I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but like you just kind of have to find a way to make yourself stand out in this.
That's
what
you do best, though. That's why I tell people to go to Hoodlum because if you want something interesting, you want something that no one else is doing, go to Hoodlum.
And I feel like the clothing that's selling right now is like the funny shit, bro. You can put like a funny quote on a T-shirt, but still make it look cool. You're going to get all these buyers, bro.
I told you.
And it's like also like I feel like TikTok has really taken a big toll on us because like you said, everyone thinks they're a clothing designer now. And, everyone thinks they're Virgil Abloh, bro, because they changed 3% of a logo or some shit. Like it's not that.
Yeah.
Just oversaturation.
What do you think is like the worst mistake you made in this clothing space?
None. To be honest, I think every mistake is a lesson that you can take with you. Like,
Is there one where you're like, fuck, like I knew that was gonna happen or something? You know what I mean?
yeah. Okay, if it's something like that, manufacturing something from Pakistan and not getting a sample done and getting it here, and the sizings are all off. So now a large is a medium, you know, and then we're selling it to people. Now I have to sell it as kids' jackets or something, you know.
So it's just like, make sure you always get the sample.
Make sure you always get the sample. Make sure you're, and when you're doing this and you're speaking to them, they're great at their job to a certain extent. You have to fill in the other 50% that they're not understanding from you. So sizing, you know, where you want things on the jacket or like whatever, you have to give them all the details. And once you give a manufacturer all the details, they'll give you the product that you put out, right? And so it's more of so as understanding. I think that's another, okay, I guess that's a mistake too, is not understanding that at the beginning. Thinking that this manufacturer, oh man, they make these dope ass jackets, but getting the jackets, you're like, what the fuck did they do?
It's because they're gonna cut corners like at any point they can.
Yeah.
But if you tell them like I need this to weigh this much and that, then that's where they're gonna.
And you know, shout out to Superline because those guys. So like Eric at Superline, be actually putting on free game, and now I understand what I need to do.
Is that the dude's name?
Eric, yeah.
I didn't know his name. I just like I see him in all the videos.
Dude.
That's funny. What's like an advice for pop-ups? Because you guys go to all the pop-ups. What's an advice for somebody like the guy yesterday that was his first pop-up? What's some advice you can give for someone? Or what if someone has their brand already, but they've never done a pop-up? Like what's something that you've learned or, you know?
Don't be scared to reach out. If you see a pop-up happening, reach out. Someone wants you there or you want to be there, you have to make it happen because no one notices you before you notice them, right? So you have to really be engaging in this community because they're not going to want you at their pop-up ever. And that's what I told the guy yesterday. And then it's also being consistent, showing your face. People in Utah are eventually going to see you 6 times.
Yeah.
They're going to buy that shirt from you.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's how Utah is. Then they're like, oh, maybe you are pretty popular. Maybe you are pretty cool or something. And they're going to buy that shirt from you the next time. What
about like setup wise? If someone's looking for a rack, someone's looking for a table, someone's looking for a tablecloth, any advice for them?
It all depends on your brand. Whatever you want your brand to look like, that's how you make your display look, right? Shout out to Eddie from 6 Under because his display was the very first thing I noticed. He had the wooden backdrop with the comic book strips on there, and I was like, this is fire. Didn't even look at the clothes first. That's the very first thing I noticed. So if you want your brand to stand out, you can't just display your T-shirt. You have to make your whole entire display you, right? You do a pretty good job at it. You have your banner, you have your tablecloth, but you have all your little accessories on your table, and those are the things people are picking up first. I've noticed whenever we do pop-ups with you, they're skipping the rack first and going straight to whatever's on your table because they want to see damn, you make mops, damn, you have a plushie, you have a pillow, you have skateboards, you have all this stuff on your table, lighters. People want to see these little things that are standing out. And I think that's the biggest thing when you're starting your clothing brand. And that's what he did too yesterday. He had the backdrop, but he also had those reworked Carhartt jackets. That's the very first thing I noticed when I looked at his rack. I didn't look at his shirt. I was like, what are these jackets? What are these? And he explained how he got them and the manufacturer and everything. I was like, that's pretty cool. So when you're building your table or building your display for it, you have to really think about like how easy on the eyes it is for someone to look at, right? Because a clothing rack is a clothing rack. There's just so many shirts on there. People are just not gonna. You go to a store, you're just skipping through. You're not really looking at the shirt. You're just skipping through. If anything, I just feel the cotton so I can like, oh, this is like AS Color or this is like LA Apparel. That's usually what I do. But yeah, so visually you have to make yourself stand out and at pop-ups to make yourself noticeable to other people.
I feel like my biggest thing is like I want to have this cool display, and that's what I was telling the homie yesterday. But like, how do I fit all this in my Honda Civic, bro? You know what I mean? Like, how the fuck do I fit all this? Like,
foldable, collapsible shit. That's what.
Yeah.
Hey, that's.
I was like watching this video with Fidel's. He's like he owns a marijuana company, and he was saying like all my shit is like inflatables. Like I got inflatable tables, I got inflatable chairs. So when I'm done, I pack them down into this little thing. But then when I need them, they're big and like inflatable. And I was like, dang, that's crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
And he gave out his plug too in the interview I watched. I forgot what it was, but he gave out his inflatable plug, and I was like, damn, that's insane. Like, he has this whole inflatable setup, bro, like all of his stuff. But I feel like it's hard for me too, bro. To like, how do I get all this stuff to a space? I feel like my car is full every time I go to a pop-up.
One man show. You got your skateboard. You got your tote. You got your you didn't even have a canopy or anything. You finally borrowed someone for the thrift one.
And then I
And
had
it
to buy it
broke.
because it broke. Fuck.
The wind blew it off.
Yeah, no, bro, it broke, bro.
I think we
the
broke
I think
it.
we broke the canopy.
I
Either
wasn't
that
there,
or the
dude.
water, but we tried putting it back, and then it was all bent, so we couldn't like put it back.
Oh,
Kinda
So I
just
had to
forced
pay it out. I was like, bro, I'll just
Gooba was
buy
doing
you-
pull-ups on it.
Yeah, he was.
He was
bro,
like-
freaking Gooba.
His-
I didn't go to the gym today.
His Dorito-shaped body.
Thanks.
That's what he's going for. He's going for that V shape for sure.
Yeah.
We have a couple more questions. We could run through them, I guess. real
Yeah,
quick.
go ahead, go ahead.
What was the biggest investment you made in your brand?
Myself.
There you go.
Damn.
Like telling myself that I have to do it, investing in myself into it. Because there were some times I didn't want to be 100% in the brand because, collaborating with a few others, I was like, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. At one point, I was being told I wasn't more about nothing enough. But at that time, I didn't know what the hell that meant. No one knew what the hell that meant because now people are still feeling that this way or until this day. So, I think that's the biggest investment is like telling myself, hey, fuck it. Fuck what everyone else is saying. Just do it. And then eventually people are going to get on board and follow what you're doing.
How do you build a community for people that are out there wondering? Because you have a good community. At any pop-up, you always have people coming out. How do you build that strong community, like loyal?
I'm
fans?
lucky, first of all, because I have a lot of friends and family that support what we do. And because they're always here to support, like, I've always felt like from the beginning till now, I've always had that behind us. Our very first pop-up to now, you can actually watch that video. That very first pop-up was the most amazing pop-up we've ever done because it was just us throwing a party, our homecoming story at that time and saying, hey, we're here, we're more about nothing, and this is what the hell we're doing. And everyone that was there somehow knew me, Key, Moose, Amy. It was all friends and family, and that was the most beautiful thing I've ever felt when it came to this clothing shit. It's like you can have a random stranger wearing your shit, but really it's amazing that your family even just came out to support you because a lot of us don't get that feeling.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of us don't have that feeling, especially when you're designing clothes. Your families don't want you to do that. They want you to go to school. They want you to do other stuff, but they will never see the success in clothing until you make that first $1 million, right? But to you, that it maybe not be your success story. To you, it may be those 12 guys in different cities that bought your shirt today on a Friday at 9, and that was your success story. And so for me, I think building your community, if you have a good community around you, keep them around you. If you're friends and family, make sure they're taken care of every single time. Whether you're having conversation with them or whether you're checking up on them. And that's what I think I do best is that I have so many friends and family that I reach out to on a daily basis that I'm always talking to, that they feel like it's almost an obligation to come to our pop-ups and like at least see what we're doing, right? At least show that type of attention. And then if they like it, they can buy it. I'm not force feeding anyone to buy anything. That's her. She's a salesman. She'll tell couples to buy the same crew neck, even though knowing they can damn well share the crew neck. But she's like, you guys look cute as a couple. You guys should buy it together. And that's what she does best. I bring them in. She finishes the job, right? And that's what the team aspect also helps with, That's why when you guys were doing the pop-up stuff, people were grabbing that tee, the I Still Be a BYU tee. I was like, damn, you guys need that T-shirt.
Yeah.
And they're like, no. I'm like, no, for real. You guys think it's funny. You guys laughed when you just grabbed it and people started buying them,
Yeah.
And so it's like, I think just having a healthy dynamic, it also helps our community too, that people are seeing us as a couple, a married couple doing this together. That's maybe something they want to do in the future with whoever they love. Because now it shows that it really could work out.
I feel you on that. That's definitely a good takeaway, like like you said, if you have a community, keep building on it. And like you said, you have good people around you and it brings more good people, like good energy just keeps bringing more good energy. And then is there any future plans that you have for the brand? Anything you can leak, anything you're working on that you're excited about?
No.
I know I told you when I was here in January, I'm making a coloring book and it's still coming. So is there anything that you're working on?
No, so we still have a problem of how we work on things when we're building up the ideas. The cardigan you saw, she said we need to make it. I designed that design in 20 minutes. And then we found the cardigan that we wanted. And then, it literally took us less than 40 minutes to get that idea conceptualized and then take it to the shop and get it done in a week, So that's literally how we've been working. And it sucks. Don't do it. Because you're doing a pop-up, don't go print a new shirt like how we've been doing it because it puts us in the hole. And then we're trying to figure out how we're going to sell these shirts. And then we got to do another pop-up and do it. But then we have to make something new. So whoever the returning, customers are, they get something new every time they see us. Plan out your drops. Work quarterly. Don't work on a weekly basis. That's my biggest advice, if anything, because that shit sucks. So I don't have anything planned because that's how my mind works.
I see. And then I was gonna ask you any advice for upcoming designers or anything like that. People just trying to make clothes or do a podcast. Is there any advice for them?
Be consistent. Share with the people you love, because those are going to be, once again, your biggest supporters at the very beginning. Once they notice that you guys are finally starting to gain traction, they don't need to support anymore. Then your community starts doing it for itself, right? So beginning, make sure you share everything with the people that you love, because the people that you love are the ones that are going to share your stuff, right? But yeah, I think my biggest takeaway for sure is just being consistent, because if you're not consistent in this, you're never going to get anything out, right? You get one view on a video every day. That's one view you didn't have the day before, right? And that comes with the price of being consistent, though. You analyze every analytic that possible. You sit there on YouTube, you sit there on TikTok, you sit there on everything. You're like, why aren't my views going up? Once you block that out and you figure out that people just want to watch it and it's going to reach out to someone eventually, your goal now is just to focus on how you're getting content out, what kind of content you're making, and then what people are liking and disliking about your stuff.
That's fire. I feel like we had a good episode. I feel like Tay had a lot of good things to say, a lot of good advice for you guys. It was nice to get to know you a little more, because we just always said Tay, but we didn't really know much about you, I guess. But yeah, bro, I appreciate you for coming on. I hope that you enjoyed the episode. I hope that you had fun. That's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I hope everybody watching had a lot of fun. Thank you guys for tuning into episode 42 of the Word on the Street podcast.
Yes, sir.
Motherfucking off the menu crossover.
Multiverse. We're gonna get they're making a Brokeback Mountain tee, Gooba Mob and Hoodlum.
A Webback Mountain tee, yo.
Webback
Coming out soon.
Yeah, there we go.
Love you guys. Peace.
Peace out, y'all.
A Wetback Mountain tee is crazy.